What's up, everybody? Will Knight here, back again with another reaction video. Today, I got another one for Matt. This is going to be one that, hey, look, I'm not gonna hold you. Ain't no way you gonna guess the story of this.
I can try.
You can try. If you manage to guess the story on this, I don't know what I would do. I feel like I will have to reward you with something. Because if you can do it based off these intros, then, hey, look, maybe you know anime more than I do. Because there ain't no way that you would guess this. Today we are going to check out this anime right here. Overlord.
Is this another, like, four-parter?
No, this is a three-parter.
Oh, okay.
So, short and simpler. A little bit easier for you to digest, but the anime is known as Overlord. That's all I can really give you going into it. I'm sure that you've got your own ideas going on.
Just the name. That's it.
Yep.
I mean, it's dark. It's brooding. It's... that's it. That's all I got.
Yep.
And a name.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta see something.
Yep. So we gonna check out something right here, right now. But before we do, why don't you guys check out the intro? Alright guys, here we are, back again. This is Overlord, opening 1, Clatonia. I don't know how to pronounce the name of this song, but it's something. It's something right there. So let's go ahead and check this out.
There's a lot of negative space in this one. Like, a lot of lack of anything.
Yes. There is a whole lot of that.
Yeah. And a Skeletor-esque person.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is very much what you get. Oh boy. Alright.
First part.
First part.
Like I said, I didn't like the negative space.
Yep.
But it's their beginning.
Yep.
You gotta give them a chance.
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying.
Yeah,
They're just trying,
doing
kids.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to get out there.
I have no idea what it is.
Yep, I figured that.
What the characters are.
Yep. Okay.
I will say the Skelly Man hand sequence at the begining there. Very Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Okay.
But I liked it.
All right. Nice. There
Now,
you go.
Do I have any questions?
Yeah, I was about to say, if there was ever one that you could use questions on, this is gonna be one of them.
What possible time period is this set in? Is it an alternate history?
That's an interesting question. It is, by extension, an alternate history.
You can still remain vague, because I think
I'm
I
going
might be
to.
getting closer.
Yeah, I'm going to. This is, by technicality, an alternate history. Since you brought that up, I will say that for you. And it is very Arthurian. Not necessarily saying that it revolves around King Arthur, but in the same type of time frame as kingdoms and just an expanse of the world that's not fully explored, but also there are prominent places, and it has the same type of feel as an Arthurian story.
But not every character needs to show up. Like, I was surprised when Magi told me that my favorite Witch of the Woods, Morgana Le Fay, I know it's a different spelling of the name, okay, but Alibaba and Sinbad, they can stay in their world, that's fine. The two didn't really interact,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
fair enough.
But when you take creative licenses, kids, okay, you can have Frasier and Phoebe go on dates with each other.
Fair enough. So, I'm about to queue up the intro for the second season, Overlord 2, because it's one of those shows that do that. This is Go Cry Go.
Go Cry Go.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Go Cry Go. I will also point out that the intros in Overlord are the best thing about Overlord.
Wait,
to me.
What does that mean?
To me.
Does that mean that the show doesn't compare, or it's... Oh boy, we're getting a lot of characters again.
Mm-hmm.
Part 2's.
Just get crazy now. Crazy immense. You go cry go. See how they're telling you? Just
Yeah.
go out and cry because you ain't figuring this out.
Well, they got... They're not singing to me about that. Okay, the show was made a while ago.
They knew you were coming.
Yeah, they did.
Alright, so that was Go Cry Go. How do you
I have a lot more than just 2 more questions, but I know I only got 2 for this fun game.
Yep.
There's so much, like, fantasy creatures and other things that I just saw. Man. What is... Like,
it's like, I know you want to ask a question, but you want to ask the right one,
I know. It's like, I want to choose wisely. I don't want to choose poorly and then melt.
Yep.
What... I guess defeating Skellyman is like the main goal, so I can't ask that. But what?
Okay.
What are the gods of this universe? Do they have? If they're not important, then it's a more interesting show.
I was about to say, okay, you know what? I'll answer the question in a way that's going to make it even more harder for you.
Damn.
They do exist. They are alluded to. They're talked about. They are often prayed to and asked to for help. In comparison to the main cast, they mean nothing.
Wow.
And that's the best way that I can... At least in the terms of how they display the show, in comparison to the main cast, they mean absolutely nothing.
Wow, so it's like a D&D campaign of, like, other than your group of like 5 adventurers needing to get blessings and stuff from the gods all the time, the rest of the world is just, they really don't care. They got other things to be NPCs about.
Alright, well, hey, that's how you take it.
If it helps me understand it, maybe.
Alright, so let's go on to opening 3, Veracity.
Oh, Overlord 3.
Yep.
Now it's a full hourglass. Got the negative space again. Oh. That was teeth. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh darn Skeletor again.
I just want to see how crazy it is.
I didn't really get anything from that one.
Yeah. Alright.
It's
What's your final question before you have to make a verdict?
okay. Other than the women's that were there,
Yes.
is Skeletor actually a hero?
Ooh, that is the best question that you could ask. He is not. He is the main character. He is the protagonist, but he is the villain of the story.
Okay, so he is the Overlord.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, of the evil undead.
Mm-hmm.
In this world of a bunch of heroes that want to expel him and all of his wickedness, and so he is the one getting in the way and thwarting them, but I don't know if he's satisfied with being just his little amount of evil, or if he's like, I want to expand my evil domain. And so maybe his plots from season to season is he wants to conquer a new land, or he just wants to get rid of that one team of rowdy kids. And he's got an undead army to do it, or he has to build back up to it because he's also got underlings that are scoundrels that betray him, because that's what they're always good for. If I'm guessing right, I hope I am. But if not, it's also just a weird thing. If I ask the question of, is this an alternate history? And it was just a stupid, weird idea that I had, because this is called Overlord. Yeah. And then you have the Eli Roth movie, Overlord. I was like, is this involved in World War I or World War II in any way, shape, or form? Thank God.
And that's a free one that I will give you. Okay. So, you're actually pretty close. I will say straight up that the way that you described it would make it a better show. So Overlord
I don't like it when I do that.
Overlord is an isekai anime, which is the Japanese term for another world. It's basically one of those shows where the main character gets flung into a new place, and so therefore they have to then survive. It's also a video game anime. Essentially, a video game player had his favorite video game shutting down one day, and he decided to stay in it, even to the point where everybody else logged out. And when the game finally blacked out, he woke up in the body of his avatar, which is Ainz Ul Gaum, which he had been one of the top players in the game in this MMO. Where he and his friends portrayed villains, where they were villainous. They liked the dark aspect of the game, kind of like if you were evil in World of Warcraft or something like that. Like if you could be, or if you chose the dark timeline in Fable, they were all advocates of that. So when he woke up, all the NPCs that they created for their castle, for their clan, were real people. And they looked to him as being their overlord because he stayed with them. And when he went outside of the castle, he sees that he's in another world. The thing about Overlord that I don't like is that the way that they depict magic, they basically say that the magic in the game that he comes from is a 1-to-1 scale of the magic of the world that he gets into. But because he spent so long climbing the tower, he's more powerful than literally anything else they've shown in the show. Like, at all. And there's been nothing directly that challenged him other than, I guess you could say, the end of season 1, where he had one of those situations where he had to fight somebody within his own rank.
Yeah.
But even then, he was more powerful than her, so it didn't...
Because he has all the good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And don't forget, she was an NPC to start out. So it's not like she could hack the game or understand the mechanics behind the scene. She just uses things that were available to her. And it's just she's strong. But not compared to somebody that is just it would be somebody playing a video game and then fighting a game developer who can just be yeah, it doesn't actually do that. No matter how good you think it might be. I know where the glitch is because I made it.
Yeah, basically.
So the interesting parts of Overlord come in when the many vassals or retainers underneath him have to go out into this world and interact with it. But they focus a lot on Ainz because, he's an actual human instead of an NPC that then became human. So he's the one with the most relatable type of emotion and stuff like that. Everybody else follows the script of their story of who they were before they came in. Mm-hmm. But the issue with it is that in his new body, his Skeletor body, he doesn't have emotions because the creature that he was portraying does not have them. So he recognizes things that he would relate to, but he cannot empathize with them anymore.
Because he's in a body of a Skeletor monster.
Yes, which is why in the first intro, one of the major lines was, "Where's my soul?" Because as he's interacting with these people, he plays the villain because that's just what it, and he plays it to the point where he actually is very villainous. Like, he really does not give a fuck about who he messes up in this world. And he knows that he would think it was wrong if he still had emotions, but he still does it just to keep in line, and so that the people that are following him don't fall out of line. It's like, it's interesting. If they played with it a little bit more, it could be interesting. But he doesn't do enough in the show because they focus on how everything else is interacting around him, or how his subordinates interact with the people on the outside, which, surprise, surprise, their immediate desire is just to kill most of the people that they interact with.
Yeah.
Because they don't care. And then he has to find creative ways to basically say, well, I don't want you to do that yet, because if they're around and they fear me enough, they'll go tell this other person. If this other person fears me enough, they'll try to get a weapon that will defeat me. And if I find that weapon and take it from them, then I'll have another weapon in the arsenal. Kind of like that. Instead of just saying, I just don't want to kill people. It's stuff like that. And then hijinks of, like, when situations like that happen, and it's just like, this person ended up becoming the new king of the kingdom, and you knew that he would be because we fought this other thing like a couple episodes ago, and Ainz, you're so smart because you planned this out from the very beginning. And he's just like, because
he is the Velon that everybody expects that he must be this way.
Yes.
But internally, he's not.
Yeah, he's literally like just a kid in figuring this stuff. Well, not a kid, but like probably like a young adult.
Yeah, that invests a lot, and they see him in one way as opposed to him internally being another.
Yes.
That's why, like, there is another show that you introduced to me of the Shield Knight.
Yes.
In which he wants to be this great, awesome hero, but he's given a terrible piece of equipment as he sees it at first.
Yeah.
And he is supposed to be in the role of a hero, but everyone in his world turns out to be, probably in my opinion, worse than the actual creatures and villains that he needs to fight.
Yeah.
Because it gives him a different struggle.
Yeah.
A struggle that nobody should really encounter in life.
Yeah.
But
he has to get through.
He has to.
And that is what makes it like way more
interesting.
Yeah. So, like, I don't really hate Overlord. I would like to see it play out a little bit more. I think that the lore behind it is interesting. I think that the world they built was interesting. I think that the diversity of characters, because I don't even know how they came up with some of the ideas for creatures that they had, other than to say that they had to really look at D&D and like Arthurian legend and like all these other types of forces in order to bring out. There's literally an Arctic bug man, and I don't know how to explain him other than that.
I'll have to pull up a photo of him, but I can tell you whether or not that thing actually, if it looks anything like an owl bear, which by those words enough, you can tell that I've played the D&D. But yeah, when you have a monster manual, you got a lot of resources to be taken from that have yet to be put into any media.
True.
Because a gelatinous cube is also something I have yet to see anybody fight. And you animators out there in good old Japan, get on it.
Yeah.
Not a thing of tofu, a gelatinous cube.
So, based off the intros and the explanation of the story, how interested would you ever be in Overlord?
A lord out of over. From looking at it, I was confused more than anything. But when you tell me the concept of it, I think it's a lot more fun.
Okay.
So it would be one of those things of where, like, if you tell somebody about it, it's a lot different than having to scroll through YouTube and watch something and then just say, I don't really want it. Because for me, the problem of that negative space was something, but if there's a lot more,
I'm also glad that you picked up on that, because the negative space was to him is basically a representation of him as a character.
Yeah.
Where he is very dark and
If he's always
murderous.
missing that, then it makes a lot more sense. But when you're showing me an intro,
right, you would never.
You gotta show me some fires getting started.
Yeah. Like I said, there's not really much to challenge him, so there's not really much to fight with. But
there is. The internal conflicts is always something to fight.
if he had more, he's very much committed to this role to the point where, like, I think the only thing that he would ever argue is whether or not he wants to go back to the regular world. And it's one of those questions where, because he's a nerd, we all know the answer of what he's going to choose. Where it's just like, man, F that, I'm not going back. To do what, taxes?
Of course, why would you want to go back to the wonderful world of taxes?
Like, and to, like,
to
a lot of people...
to somebody call you about your car's warranty, even though you haven't owned that Camry in 2 years. And all then, the fun stuff.
Like, a lot of people would be like, what about his family? And I'm just like, okay, but see... The thing is, he has
a virtual family.
Think about this, right? How many nerds on the internet would love to create their own perfect woman? And think if that came to life in front of them. Because that's pretty much what happened to him. Like, why you say that there's a lot of women and everything.
Yeah.
And like in the third trailer where you see them like on him.
Like
I don't know what to tell you.
You're bringing up the ancient Pygmalion argument, which then later turned into Dollhouse, then into Pretty Woman, of making your perfect woman. Mm-hmm. But when it comes up to it, the very easiest answer is already like being played out in somebody's head before you're done asking the question of yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people, that's what they would want, because we all have to admit, fantasy sometimes is better than reality. Just look how long people are in a character creation screen, and before they realize they started playing Dark Souls, Elder Scrolls, or anything else, that they are playing as an opposite sex character before they start to register in their head, oh, this is a lot hotter than I thought it was going to be.
Yep. So yeah, that's good old Overlord. I'm gonna think of something new to try and throw at you. No. I knew this one was gonna be like a harder one for you.
This was impossible.
Yeah, it was dang near impossible. There's no way.
I didn't even get
regular people could. There's no way that you could figure this out without watching the anime. I'll put it that way. But all the same, you got through it. Proud of you. And we're going to hit these people up in the next one. But
I enjoyed watching it. You didn't have to talk about it like it was The Dentist.
I don't know. I had somebody that introduced me to Overlord, and while I do admit that I can have fun with the series, I don't think it's a good one.
Oh,
that's the main thing. Like, I think it's just something dumb to watch. And I do like that it's a Funimation property, so they invest a lot of time in it, because then they can dub it, and I don't have to watch it while I'm doing something else or commit time to it.
Okay, so it's just, for you, it's a time filler until Magi Season 4 comes out.
That being said, guys, this has been another reaction for good old Matt here. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, share the video so that more people can see his reaction, and we'll be coming back to you with a new one pretty soon. But until then, I'm Will Knight,
Matt McKinley.
Remember to be brave, be bold, be you, and hopefully we will be in the near future. Later.
Lates.